just want to share a story of how God has brought me from this point in my life to this point right here. I grew up in a Catholic family, and it was something that I never really took into a personal level. It was just something that I did on Sundays. And as I grew older, it became less important to me. And God didn't really, I didn't really see the need of God in my life. I knew He was up there, and I was down here. He can do whatever you want up there, and I'll do what I want down here. And so, what happened was, as I grew into my teenage years, I became a little more rebellious, and I pushed God completely out of my life. I thought I had it all though, because in high school, I had the popularity, I had boyfriends, I had the money because I had a good job as a student, and I also had the good grades. And so I thought I had it all, and I thought I was living the life, just living big and having fun in all sorts of ways. Anyways, as high school ended, things were starting to change for me. All my friends that I grew up with all went away for university, and I just ended a whole series of unsuccessful relationships. And by the summer before my university, I came to a place where I didn't really know what I was doing. The popularity that I was holding on to was gone. I was pretty lonely, and just didn't really know what my purpose in life was. But nevertheless, I was going to enter into my university career with a hope of having that party lifestyle that I see in the movies, that whole Animal House university life. Well, God had completely different plans for me. And so what happened was, on the first week of university, I was walking around clubs days, so all the clubs were presenting their things, giving out free pens, free bags, different things that they were giving out. So I was just going out and collecting all the free things. And then I walked by the Catholic club at SFU, or Catholic Christian Outreach, and there just happened to be free candy at the table. And so I decided to grab this free candy and just started talking to a member behind the table. And I was just kind of engaged in a conversation with this person, and I realized that there's something attractive about the people that I was talking to behind the table. And I felt bad for not signing up because I had talked to them for a while. So I signed up, and a couple days later, a CCO missionary called me and asked to meet up with me, so I had nothing else to do, so I went and met up with them. And she took me out for lunch with a group of everyone else, and there's something different about this group again. I knew there was something different about it because they were cool, but they were Catholic, and I didn't think those two words could exist in a person. And so as I got to know these people, I became friends with them, and these friendships grew stronger, and I grew closer to these people. And it was really exciting because these people, like I said earlier, were normal Catholics. I thought that Catholic people that were practicing their faith kind of sat in their room alone, reading their Bibles all day. And I didn't realize that there were Catholics in the world. And so, and another really cool thing that was different about them was that they spoke of a man named Jesus Christ in a very different way. They spoke about him in a way that they knew him. They would say things like, so, you know, I had a conversation with Jesus yesterday, and it was really awesome, and he kind of told me this. And that was something completely new to me. I thought Jesus was just this guy in the Bible that people talked about. And I never realized that he was actually a person that you can be in a relationship with. And so just through the witness of these friends, I realized that Jesus can be a person that you can relate to in everyday life, in the modern time. And I was just starting to become curious about who Jesus was. And I started attending more CCO events, took a faith study, and I was starting to learn who Christ was. And then one of my friends that I had invited me out to Rise Up in Calgary that year. So Rise Up is CCO's annual Christmas conference, and about 500 students came from across the country to Calgary to grow in their faith, learn more about who Christ is, and just meet a whole bunch of people, and it sounded like a lot of fun, and so I went. It was at the night of Eucharistic Adoration during Rise Up that I actually understood who Christ was. As I knelt down with the 400 to 500 students across the country, the procession of the Eucharist walked right by me, and as I looked at the Eucharist, I realized that Jesus had just walked right by me, and I knew that his presence in the Eucharist was true and real, and that I was kneeling in front of the Lord and he was just a couple feet away. And I was filled with so much excitement, so much joy, and yet I lacked the understanding of what was really happening in my life right then. But I didn't know what was happening, but I knew I had to go to confession. And out of the 400 or 500 students there, I was the first one to go to confession, to be in the lineup for confession. And so I went and I made my first true, honest confession. And as I was being absolved for my sins, I really understood Jesus' love and his mercy, that he came down on earth and died on the cross so that we can have a relationship with God. And all that came clear to me as I was being absolved for my sins, and I was filled with so much joy and so much love for the Lord. And so I knew right there and then that I had to change my life, that I had to live a life for Christ, and really put him at the center of my life. And so since then, I've gone through some ups and downs, and it hasn't been easy, but it has been so worth it. And I am now here in Saskatoon as a missionary so that other students like myself who may not really understand what they're doing, what their purpose is, or living an unfulfilling lifestyle, and can experience Christ and know him in a personal way and accept them into their lives. So that's why I'm here at the U of S, and really, my conversion happened at Rise Up, and so many other things happened at Rise Up, and it's a wonderful event, and I really encourage you to go this year. It's in beautiful British Columbia, in my hometown of Vancouver. It is a wonderful city. It's a great way for you to see the city, meet 500 students from across the country, and really get to experience the Lord. So I challenge you to go to Rise Up this year. I promise you, you won't regret it.